Hey guys, hope you're having a good day. So today we got something a little different, and we got an electric plug-in lawnmower. So this is an 11 amp 13-inch Ryobi unit, and the backstory on this one is a neighbor asked me to take a look at it because the motor seemingly turns on and runs, but the blade does not spin. So let's move this into some shade and we'll get into it. All right, so I got a cord pulled out and we're gonna try to replicate what they said it was doing. And I got you guys kind of positioned because if it turns on, I'm gonna tip it up and we're gonna see if the blade's turning. And then we're gonna go from there. Okay, so it turns on and tip this over. You guys are gonna have to tell me if the blade's turning or not. Okay, so I watched that back, blade's not turning, motor is working, and I kind of smell almost a burnt rubber smell, so I don't know if that's the motor or something else, but we're gonna unplug this, tip it over, take the blade off, and see if there's any kind of a restriction there. All right, 14 millimeter. This might be the tiniest blade I've ever seen. Could stand to be sharpened. But I got like a blade adapter here, and then nothing else. So let's look at the top side, see what we need to do to take this apart. Okay, so looking at this, I think these screws come out. Should be able to pop that top cover off and should expose the motor, see what's going on. So let me get you positioned and we'll start doing that. Okay, so I think you guys can see everything. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exposed screws. Maybe there's some behind these labels, but we'll see. All right, those 5 out. Let's see if this pops up. Maybe one in the back. Oh, this label's damaged. Maybe there's one underneath here. Yeah. All right. A lot of grass buildup. I don't see anything out of whack right now. You get a blower and blow this off. Okay, a little better view and we're cleaned up. I think we got to take these perimeter screws off. Looks like maybe a motor and a pulley housing. See what's underneath there? My guess is we've got a bad belt because that burning smell didn't really smell like an electrical burn. It smelled more like rubber. Okay, so before I pull this, let me show you the screw locations. We got 2 in the front there, and then around the perimeter there, which I think a pulley is underneath that. So I'm gonna get those pulled out so I don't lose any, and we'll pull this off. All right, let's see if we can find the smoking gun in here. Nope. That'll do it. Okay. So it looks like we've got maybe a bearing that goes into the plastic housing down here. Got a pulley for the blade and a ribbed motor pulley. Let's take a look at this belt here. That thing got chewed up. So let's see. There's like 3 ribs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's supposed to be 5. Okay. I'm gonna have to see if we can't look this up. Maybe it's in the parts list for this mower, but we've got what looks like that printed on the belt itself, so that might help us out too. But I think we're at a good stopping point. I'm gonna have to get some parts. Okay guys, a couple days later we got a new belt. This is actually not listed anywhere on this machine's parts diagram. I had to look up the number on the old belt, which is that PJ457-180J. So funny thing about this was actually listed for RC cars and treadmills. Thought that was pretty interesting, but we got to get this put back on. I had taken that bearing off in the meantime and stuck that back in the housing here. So that's seated in there. And we need to wrap this back around. I think I'm going to try doing this and then kind of rolling it around the ribs there. But I want to make sure that those ribs are clean. So we'll go around with a pick here, make sure that the grooves are clean and there's no crappy material in there, like that. I might need a wire brush. Okay, let's see what we got here. So this is a 5 rib. When I ordered it, you can get like 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 8. So there's an Amazon link. I'll have to try to link it below for you guys if you need to get one of these. Hopefully this isn't too hard to kind of stretch back on. Let's try this way. Okay, so I'm noticing that the motor mounts have some adjustability here, so I think I'm just going to crack these loose and see if we can move it closer so we can slip this back on and then retension it. Because the old rolling on trick isn't really working out. Might still have to roll it on here, but it'll give us some extra slack at least. All right. Wow, okay. What a pain. I'm sure there's some kind of spec for moving the motor. A certain amount of deflection here. That's pretty tight. So I think I'll just tighten these down the way they are. Because that's already pretty tight. So I don't want to overdo it either. All right, well, I believe that's it, guys. So we're in the groove on that, and we're in the channel on this one. I don't really see any other issues. So it was like this. Have to clean that out. Alright, drop that back in. Make sure there's no plastic sticking out. It's going to cut our new belt. I think we're okay. We're down on the bearing, and it's just screws now. Top cover. Okay, let's get the blade. And I did put a quick edge on it for him. This one's kind of interesting. The shaft has a key on it instead of the adapter. All right, time for a test. Okay, well, you guys are going to be my eyes on this one again, so I'm going to plug it back in. We're going to test it. I'll tip it up, see if the blade moves. Cross your fingers. All right, well, I watched that back quick, and I'd say that's a success. Well, with that, I think we're going to wrap this one here. Not much else to do other than to clean it up a little bit for them and get it back to them. But kind of interesting that the Ryobi parts diagram for this thing did not have that belt, but maybe they don't want you to break it into it that far on these electric types. So hopefully what we covered helped somebody out, or you guys found this entertaining. Thanks for joining me on this one, and I'll catch you on the next one.